Ruben Amorim is not here to rebuild, he's here to create a new legacy.
Alex Ferguson was here for ever. But everybody that's followed, Moyes went very quickly, but everybody went 2 years. Van Gaal, Mourinho 2 years, Solskjaer 2 years. You need to stay more than 2 years.
Yeah, I want to stay 20. That is my goal, and I truly believe in that.
And the first shots have already been fired. A £200 million attacking line built around the genius of Matthias Cunha.
Play within 40 yards of him. Cunha left-hand side of the box. He's cut inside. He strikes it. Oh my goodness me! That's incredible!
The raw power of Brian Mbeumo.
Brian Mbeumo! 4!
And the cold, clinical finishing of Benjamin Šeško.
Šeško!
That's not a front line, that's a declaration of war. But here's the scary part. He's not done yet, because for Amorim, this isn't just about scoring goals, it's about building a machine.
But Manchester United is a story. It's always a story. And where they were last year to where we saw them, we just said, this doesn't look like anything. And right now, I know it's early, but it's really starting to look as a Ruben Amorim team. It's not the finished product, but we're starting to see what we've wanted to see since he's come in. It looks fluid. They look confident. The players look happy. They look motivated. All of the things we said they weren't last year.
A team capable of finishing in the Premier League's top 4 and staying there. To get there, 2 more pieces are needed. 2 positions that could change everything.
If Baleba and Donnarumma sign for Manchester United, Don, will they be a top 4 contender?
Yeah.
In goal, the name is already clear. Gianluigi Donnarumma, the best goalkeeper in the world.
Hey Ruben, who we signed? Are we getting Donnarumma? Sorry? Are we getting Donnarumma?
Thank
A wall, a leader, a player who can turn games with one save. And in midfield, Carlos Baleba, the best number 6 in the Premier League.
I mean, Baleba he's the Premier League gold standard for defensive midfielders not in the top 6.
A force of nature who dominates both with and without the ball. Add those 2 to what United already have, and you're looking at a squad with no weaknesses, no excuses, just firepower, steel, and control. If Amorim gets his men, this team won't just fight for top 4. They'll terrify everyone who dares stand in their way.
It feels like it's a new dawn for Manchester United.
Ruben Amorim walked into Manchester United at its lowest point in modern history.
I would like to say different things, but I have to say it again. The storm will come.
To understand how deep the crisis was, you only have to compare the reign of Sir Alex Ferguson with what came after. For 27 years, that's 9,733 days. Ferguson turned United into a global powerhouse.
Man who has been part of the tapestry of the history of this club has won 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 10 Charity Community Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup, 1 European Super Cup, 2 Champions League titles, Intercontinental Cup, 1 FIFA Club World Cup, and 13 Premier League titles. The impossible dream made possible by the greatest British manager ever, Sir Alex Ferguson.
38 major trophies, 13 Premier League titles.
Well, the title wasn't away for long, was it? 20 times league champions, 13 Premier League crowns. That's Sir Alex's remarkable legacy.
5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 2 Champions Leagues.
Into Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it!
A FIFA Club World Cup.
Now Rooney. Oh, what a piece of brilliance from Wayne Rooney.
10 Community Shields.
Near post, and it's in for Javier Chicharito Hernandez.
His dynasty is one of football's greatest stories.
There is a debate in this country about who the best Premier League manager has been. Man City fans will say you. Man United fans will say Sir Alex Ferguson. The longer you go on, obviously, the more compelling the evidence will become that you are the best that's ever been. Does that motivate you at all to have that legacy?
At all. I want to be happy every day when I come. I don't do it to, of course, we win titles, give you the chance to have job. It's only we give it to you, but it's not the pleasure, honestly. So in that country, I think in all around the world, Sir Alex Ferguson is the best for the time, for the change teams and look the carrying trophy. So being close to the one of the most important managers of all time is that it's not enough, more than enough. It's an incredible honor for me, for all the staff, all the system I had, all the players I had. For me, it's an honor.
Then the collapse. 8 managers in just over a decade. David Moyes lasted 293 days, 1 Community Shield. Ryan Giggs an interim of 68 days. Louis van Gaal 679 days, 1 FA Cup. Jose Mourinho 900 days. Europa League, EFL Cup, Community Shield, and what he called the biggest achievement of his career, 2nd place in 2018.
One of the best jobs of my career, to finish 2nd with Manchester United in the Premier League.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 1,068 days, a Europa League final but no silverware. Michael Carrick, 12 days. Ralph Rangnick, 179 days. Eric Ten Hag, 850 days. 2 domestic cups.
Again here, Bruno Firmino for 2-0.
And an identity crisis.
We're blinded by the FA Cup. Now, here we are and nobody's surprised. We keep talking about the word progression. I think we should talk about regression.
By the time Amorim arrived, the numbers were brutal. In 2024/25, United sank to 42 points, a new all-time Premier League low, 15th in the table, worse than Moyes' infamous 7th place. Only 44 goals scored, the lowest ever. Just 11 wins, 18 defeats. Another record.
In 10 games in Premier League, we won 2. I know that. Imagine what is this for a fan of Manchester United. Imagine what is this for me. So we are getting a new coach that is losing more than the last coach. I have full knowledge of that. Like I said, I'm not going to change, no matter what. And I know we can succeed, but we need to survive this moment because I'm not naive. And I know that we need to survive now. So we are being the worst team.
It was rock bottom, and yet there were signs. Day by day, the team began to claw back an identity. Not enough to save the season, but enough to plant the seed of something different. Because Amorim knew one thing, this was never going to be a quick fix. It was going to be a rebuild, brick by brick. And what he's building now will shock the Premier League. The first thing Ruben Amorim did after that nightmare debut season was tear the inside of the club apart and rebuild it his way.
We can have that feeling of we are improving, but we know that the Premier League is a different world.
Last year, he admitted managing Manchester United felt like fighting with his hands tied. This season, the shackles are off. The difference, control.
6 months ago, in my first 3 games in charge, with 2 victories and 1 draw, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disaster season, I want to tell you the good days are coming.
Amorim overhauled the medical and nutrition departments, bringing in elite specialists to end the endless injury crisis that crippled United's campaign. He restructured leadership inside the dressing room, replacing the single captain model with a captain's group, trusted players who would share responsibility, handle small issues before they became big ones, and keep standards high. A brand new code of conduct now governs Carrington. Players must be on time, they must engage with the fans, and they must train at an intensity that matches the badge on their chest. No exceptions.
I don't treat the players as babies. If they don't train in the right way, I have footage to show you, and I show you in front of everybody. So he's not joking.
That. And here's the key. United won't be in European competition this season. That means fewer matches, more rest, and more time to drill Amorim's system to perfection. But this cultural reset came with casualties. High-profile names who didn't fit the new standards were moved on. Jadon Sancho, gone. Antony, gone. Marcus Rashford, gone.
We are just allowing to these players to have time to think and to decide. If you reach a point that they have to join the team, they will join the team because they are our players. Omar and Jason and the club have a number for these players. If they don't reach that players, they will be Manchester United players. No doubts about that. I understand that the clubs maybe are waiting for the last minute, but they can have a surprises, and I'm ready.
Amorim is not building a team to please everyone. He's building a team to compete. And the second stage of that rebuild is about to change the transfer market. Few managers in football arrive with a vision as precise and uncompromising as Ruben Amorim's. But his first year at Manchester United proved just how hard it is to turn a clear idea into reality in the chaos of English football. Taking over 11 league games into last season, Amorim walked into a storm. United were a shadow of their old selves, a long way from the glory years of Sir Alex Ferguson. By the end of the campaign, they had collapsed to a record low 15th place in the Premier League. And the squad was still struggling to adapt to his radically different style. Trying to impose a brand new system mid-season was always going to be messy, but this time, Amorim has what he didn't have before: a full pre-season, time to drill his methods, and 3 huge attacking signings, Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Benjamin Šeško, to spearhead the next chapter. So what exactly is Amorim building? And why does it matter now more than ever? His 3-4-2-1 system is the spine of his footballing identity. 3 centre-backs anchoring the defence, wing-backs pushing high and wide to stretch the pitch, 2 attacking midfielders floating behind a lone striker. And at the heart of it all, 2 midfield pivots who must hold the structure together, both in and out of possession. No Premier League coach was more committed to a single shape than Amorim last season. He barely changed formation, only 7 times in game, the lowest in the league. Critics call it stubbornness. He calls it conviction.
I think it's quite simple. I think we talk about the system. I think the system is not the problem, it's the way of playing. You build up with 3, you can build up with 3 with 2 defenders and 1 midfielder going down. So it's quite simple. I don't see the football like that. The problem of our team is not the system. We have a lot of problems. We are trying to work on these problems. Of course, every system needs different characteristics. But I was always really clear, and I have one idea. I'm still really confident because I have an idea how to play football. I will not change that, no matter what. I will not change that. And I'm not talking about the system. It's the way I see football. I will not change that. And we are going to do it. Or not, we'll see.
I stick to my idea until the end, he said after a December defeat to Newcastle. Barely a month into the job, the progress is there. And it's visible in the data. Zrania United now rank among Europe's elite when it comes to circulating the ball through central zones. In the Premier League, only Manchester City have played with a slower average direct speed since Amorim took over from the sacked Erik ten Hag. This deliberate, methodical tempo has brought one clear benefit: a tighter defensive structure. Statistically, United are harder to break down, even if the numbers still leave room for improvement. At Sporting, Amorim was clear about his philosophy. The centre-backs are the builders, more so than the central midfielders. His vision is simple. When United are outnumbered in midfield, he expects his centre-backs to step up, progress the ball through the lines, and even operate as auxiliary holding midfielders during the build-up. Last season, though, Amorim's plans ran into a brutal reality. He simply didn't have enough defenders suited to that role. That's why the return of Lenny Yoro and Lisandro Martinez could be decisive. The numbers say it all. Both ranked in the Premier League's top 5 for line-breaking passes per 90 minutes last season, and no other United defender came close.
I got a question on a player that got absolutely lit up in one of his first Premier League games this year, Lenny Yoro. Since then, he's really stepped up.
We interviewed him, didn't we, not long ago? And he's a student of the game. He sees his mistakes, he acknowledges his mistakes, and he tries to learn from those mistakes. And I can see that even when he's getting out wide in 1v1 situations.
But both endured long spells on the sidelines. Yoro played just 1,162 minutes in the league, out of a possible 3,420, while Martinez managed 1,754 before rupturing his ACL in February.
Sabes que ese tipo de lesión te margina 7, 8, 9 meses de la cancha. Ahí está, rodilla izquierda. Inmediatamente se da cuenta, fíjense, ahí es.
Yoro's pre-season form has been electric.
Here's the corner, swung in, challenge, back post goal!
Referee, I think, is going to allow this to stand.
And his fitness could be the key to unlocking United's build-up game this season. With those two fit, Amorim finally has defenders capable of turning his possession blueprint into a real attacking platform. The defensive metrics underline the change. United conceded only 4 fewer goals than the season before, but their expected goals against dropped from a worrying 70.1 in 2023-24 to a more respectable 55.1. Slowing the tempo and using 3 centre-backs means that even when possession is lost, there's always a layer of protection between the ball and Andre Onana's goal. But the shift hasn't been perfect. Adding a third centre-back has sometimes clogged their own ball progression. A third of United's passes last season came from defenders, but too many were sterile. Safe exchanges across the back line, recycling possession without piercing through the opposition block. No matter who plays, the 3 at the back setup has exposed United when they don't have the ball. The double pivot in midfield is often left covering an absurd amount of ground, especially when both wing-backs bomb forward and none of the centre-backs step in to plug the gap. The heat maps tell the story. While the shape has reduced the flood of passes conceded in and around United's own box, a chronic weakness under Ten Hag, it's opened up a soft underbelly just beyond the halfway line. This pocket of space has become an easy target for opponents to exploit. The most brutal example came in the 1-0 defeat to Tottenham in February. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro were paired in midfield that day. Fernandes by nature is attack-minded, and Casemiro, days away from turning 33, no longer had the legs to patrol such a large area. Spurs simply sliced through the middle over and over again with almost no resistance.
Shot's cross has got real purpose, and Brennan Johnson!
How Amorim patches up this vulnerability will define United's season. If he can't close that gap, the rest of his tactical project risks collapsing under pressure. There are options, but none are perfect. Manuel Ugarte offers more energy and bite than Casemiro, with a relentless work rate and a knack for breaking up play. But his short passing range and lack of progressive distribution create their own set of problems. Kobbie Mainoo, on the other hand, has the technical polish and ambition to push forward, but that instinct often leaves the midfield undermanned.
The only thing I feel, if I'm being completely honest, is could you have used that money and put it on Adam Walton or a Baleba? Because your midfield is so disgusting. It's beyond a joke. Like a midfielder.
It's not all bad news. The arrivals of Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha have injected fresh dynamism into United's attack, and both could thrive under Amorim's design. His system revolves around 2 roaming number 10s, granted total freedom to drift into dangerous pockets between the lines. Those spaces appear in 2 main ways: overlapping wing-backs, dragging defenders away with aggressive decoy runs, quick ball circulation pulling opposition blocks out of shape, creating gaps for creative players to pounce on. For ball carriers like Cunha and Mbeumo, this is the dream scenario, a system that naturally feeds them the ball in high-value areas, with space to run, combine and create chaos. The movement of the centre-forward is a key cog in Amorim's attacking machine, and one that can make or break the impact of his 2 roaming number 10s. Last season, Rasmus Højlund's struggles were well documented. United's pass network from that campaign paints a clear picture. The Dane was a ghost in the build-up, barely connected to the midfield or creative zones. It wasn't for lack of effort. Højlund kept running, but his touches were often in harmless areas, with poorly timed or misdirected channel runs that stretched defences without truly threatening them. This season, that role belongs to Benjamin Šeško. The 6'4" Slovenian arrives not just as a goal threat, but as a genuine target man, a profile United lacked last year. In the air, he's miles ahead of both Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, dominating duels and winning territory. On the ground, his ability to carry the ball and beat defenders in one-on-ones gives Amorim's attack a dimension it simply didn't have before. At Red Bull Leipzig last season, Šeško was often forced to drop deep due to his midfield's inability to progress play, but rewind to their 2023-24 campaign, and you see a striker who thrives when running in behind, constantly stretching opposition backlines. That's exactly what Amorim needs, a forward who can hold the ball under pressure, link play, and still attack space with intelligence. The difference now is service, with Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo pulling strings between the lines, and Amorim's wingbacks creating those deadly overloads. Šeško should be fed the kind of passes that hurt teams. No more hopeful balls into the channels. Instead, precision deliveries into dangerous areas where his height, power and composure can do maximum damage. Pre-season has already offered a few flashes of this new attacking chemistry. Quick interchanges, diagonal switches into space, but the Premier League is a different animal. In competitive matches, weaknesses are punished ruthlessly, and United's ability to adapt this fluidity against top-level pressing sides will define whether this is just a promising summer experiment or the real foundation of a new era. For now, the blueprint is clear: a complete striker, 2 dynamic creators, and a structure designed to control games while still breaking at pace. If it all clicks, this could be the season where Amorim's vision stops being theory and starts being a genuine threat. So we've already spoken about United's dazzling £200 million attacking investment, the arrival of Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and the towering Benjamin Šeško, and how Amorim's system could unlock all three. But as good as that front line looks, any club that dreams of being at the very top of the Premier League table needs a complete squad. Defence, stacked. The forward line, a Ferrari. But midfield, that's where the imbalance lies. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro cannot cover the pitch alone, especially in Amorim's high-intensity 3-4-2-1 system. What United need is a midfielder who can defend like a wall, move like a sprinter, and still use the ball intelligently.
That's what we don't have.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
no,
you've nailed that.
They know how to press high. That's part of the game now, yeah? It's the ones behind enabling them to go and not look back. Because the moment you look back, as a midfielder or a forward, the moment's gone, they're out. If they're going confidently and they're knowing the boys behind because they're orchestrating it and telling them, you go, because I'm in here behind you, they're not going to get out, gives you a chance. Baleba, his biggest thing for me is being able to transfer the ball from the back line in our back area through to the 8s and the 10s. Yeah. Either driving with it or turning it and getting it and playing.
Yeah, that's what we don't have.
That's what we're losing.
No, you've nailed that. When I look at our midfield, I do see it pressing high. And then I wonder why we're getting absolutely walloped on the transition. And you're right, yeah, you be the 6 in there. And that's where that extra player comes from. And just takes it back to that understanding of like a 4-3-3. You go in there, you do that, you stop that middle run.
Just stop the transition.
Oh, now I'm excited. Joe, I'm excited now. I mean,
now we're fixed.
No, I understand
don't do that.
And in the Premier League, there's one name that fits that description perfectly. Carlos Baleba.
What kind of player is he? How would he work at United?
I mean, Baleba he's the Premier League gold standard for defensive midfielders not in the top 6.
And he's only 21, isn't he?
Yeah. So one thing that is seemingly becoming very, very, very important in Premier League recruiting is everyone's getting bigger, everyone's getting taller, everyone's getting rapid. Baleba is good because he is hugely mobile. So we're talking about, to use the proverbials, he's a ground eater, he's a shin kicker, he's a very good pressure valve because when the ball does come back, he can sweep it up and he's very good at sweeping up, he's very good at understanding, oh, hang on, we might lose the ball, why? I'm going to just take a step back here. 4 of you are going to be ahead of the ball, but I need to stand here and stand in certain areas. Very, very good at that delaying thing as well.
Brighton's 21-year-old Cameroonian has been polished into one of the most exciting talents in England.
And the Baleba one, 100%. Ineos. Go on, Flex.
There he is.
If we get Baleba, yeah, it's a whole different story in terms of how the squad rebuild is going. If you get Carlos Baleba at 21, who is one of the best midfielders in the league for how young he is, obviously can't quite talk to the Caicedo and the Rice and not saying that, but in terms of young up and coming next one, he could be the next Caicedo. That's how good he is.
Amorim's number one priority this summer has been finding a midfielder with relentless energy. And anyone who watched United's collapse against Newcastle will understand why. Baleba isn't just a ball winner, he's a destroyer with brains. He hunts the ball high up the pitch, snapping into tackles before opponents can settle. His timing and awareness allow him to intercept passes with ease, instantly putting his team on the front foot. When Brighton are forced to retreat, Baleba leads the press to win it back. A true Premier League battle-hardened enforcer. On the ball, he keeps it simple, valuing possession over risky passes, but he can switch play with long diagonals when the opportunity arises. His attacking output is a bonus, not the main dish. More than one club wants him, but for United he could be the signing that turns a good summer into a 10 out of 10 transfer window. And truth be told, Baleba could end up being more decisive for United's balance than Šeško, Mbeumo and Cunha combined. But there's another problem Amorim knows he must solve. No great champion in history has done it without an elite goalkeeper, and United simply don't have one right now. The Gianluigi Donnarumma opportunity has dropped straight into their lap.
Manchester United are looking for a goalkeeper, but first point, they have to find a solution for one of their goalkeepers, could be Bajendir, and second point, they have to decide how much they want to invest on the goalkeeper. Because there is a Lammens, who is a young goalkeeper with a completely different cost and salary, Donnarumma on the market, a big opportunity, but with different cost.
The Italian giant, all 6 feet 5 inches of him, has confirmed he is leaving Paris Saint-Germain, and the Premier League wants him. Manchester will be his city. but will it be in sky blue or deep red?
Well, Donnarumma has responded with a lengthy social media post where he said, quote, "From the first day I arrived, I gave everything on and off the pitch to earn my place and defend the goal of Paris Saint-Germain. Unfortunately, someone has decided that I can no longer be a part of the group and contribute to the team's success. I am disappointed and disheartened."
Donnarumma is a shot-stopping phenomenon, agile, commanding, and fearless under pressure. His long passings laser accurate, his leadership unquestionable, and his track record already stacked. Champions League winner with PSG, multiple league titles in France, and countless nights where he single-handedly saved matches. He's not just a goalkeeper, he's a trophy winner. For United, that means one thing: tough decisions. Some of the current keepers will have to go, no matter how painful. The Onana errors have been burned into the memory of us. They can't afford a repeat. The dream scenario? Land Baleba to lock down the midfield and Donnarumma to guard the net. Pull that off and United's summer could rival Liverpool, Arsenal or Chelsea's transfer windows. Maybe even surpass them, purely because of the transformational impact these two signings would bring.